Yeah, so here's one of the deleted scenes from the movie. This was our first take on introducing Sid. It was going to be that he overslept and missed the migration. But as soon as he wakes up, he starts scamming some kids. The first idea on Sid was... Yeah, the first idea on Sid was that he was a bit more of a hustler. Ratso Rizzo kind of guy.
He got a little sweeter.
Yeah, he got a lot sweeter. He just wasn't as likable. He was kind of annoying, actually. But this was funny. Oh my goodness.
The only sad part about like cutting those stuff is you get attached somehow to the way it looks and the way he moves, and But after we cut the first one, the rest was a little easier.
And the poor kids that did these aardvark voices, we had so much fun recording them.
Yes.
They really were into cute. It. We spent a whole afternoon doing all this, and we had to cut it. But I love this gag.
I love the characters too. Look at Sylvia.
Oh, Sylvia. It's so funny. The two reasons we had to rethink this sequence. One is that Sid was annoying as being a hustler. The other was that just being this length, we weren't getting to the story fast enough. You could tell when you watched it with a test audience that they were not following it. But man, this was so good. I love the
There's some great animation
petrified tree gag. Sylvia is so good. Originally, Sylvia was going to be a character that would show why Sid didn't fit in. Well, all of our main characters don't fit into society for one reason or another. Some by choice, some just because. Sid had a commitment problem. And here's Sylvia. We thought of her as someone that's probably been chasing him around since grade school. And he's just never ready to make a commitment. And, that's his issue. He just can't commit. It seemed very Sid-like for us to have him try to talk his way out of situations and not act very much. He was kind of going to be originally a slow mover and a fast talker. And here's where he would be at his best trying to talk his way out of being with Sylvia.
There are really some funny lines in this part of it. But as a movie, as a general, like, the placement of this in against the entire movie was kind of like...
Well, ultimately, he was more appealing as someone that was left behind, and he didn't understand why. The audience could tell why, but he doesn't quite know it. And he wasn't doing it... He just wasn't doing it on purpose. Here, it was hard to like him. He ditches this girl, he throws her into traffic, and then
later on, he's just trying to get everybody together to save the baby. It was kind of like a little conflict.
It didn't make sense. I mean, the performances here were all great, from the voice actors to the animators, but we had to cut it. It was very painful. Here's some extra material we had that we probably never needed. When we started to get into it in story and animation, that's when we decided to cut, and we didn't miss it. Once we cut it, we didn't miss it, but there is some, like, it's more of we introduce more of the cats, and it's more their interaction and how each cat, we play much more like each cat individually, so just to get to know them.
To know them better.
The sequence followed the stakeout sequence where Diego and Soto were talking about what to do with humans before the attack. And also it just kind of played long, and there was exposition here that we were even laughing for the wrong reasons ourselves. It was just too much. Too much. But this is kind of what we had to go through. Maybe we're just not as smart as other people that make these movies, but we had to make a lot of mistakes along the way.
Time, yeah, and it was we didn't have a lot of time to explore.
All right, here's one that I think this was. I don't know. I thought this was funny. Here, this is after the dodo sequence, and now that they did get something for the baby, they're finding that actually there is something in the diaper this time. Maybe we tread a little too far out on the poop joke gangplank, but the studio encouraged us to come up with something different.
And also we had to do the scratch stuff too. So. But there's some good also like cat moments here that would set you up for. I really like the shot.
Supposed to bury it, he throws it in the woods, and I like this line a lot. Matrix.
And the rest I think plays similar.
Yeah, this cuts back into the movie.
Well, we had more like a business between the two guys, and
yeah,
we used a lot of those shots. A lot of these shots it's exactly the same. We just made them a little bit longer.
Here's where, in the first test screening, the audience just stopped making noise. Maybe 20 minutes, and Manny says, like, you'd last 5, and then all laughter ceased.
I know. I remember like reading the script and like sometimes go, you know, really, oh boy.
But I have to say, we thought this was funny when we did it.
After executing, I think we thought it was funnier than when we.
Well, John Leguizamo did the read on this, and he added a lot of
stuff,
and we animated it. And,
but he definitely, like, watching the whole movie with this, it didn't make sense.
Well, this was another thing, you know. Sid, he was out of character from the character we ultimately found for him. And here's the version of the sequence that plays in the movie as the rhinos, but Sylvia finds them.
A lot of shots, but we had to adapt.
Yeah, so it was written for Sylvia. I think it plays better this way, but if you haven't seen it, it doesn't seem choppy with the rhinos. But it was all timed out to be with her.
There's some, like, these moments, like, I really miss, like, well, you got attached to the animation and to the look of it, and I miss those, like, acting.
I love the look, too.
It's just so beautiful and well done. And
are you okay?
Slowing the movie down at a point where we weren't in story anyway.
yeah.
And we just made some tough choices. And we cut, I don't know.
I think it's more similar gag, but with her. Like, he goes into Diego's mouth and all the stuff, but this time it was with her. Great shot. Hair and stuff, everything
I know,
moved around. She was really fun to watch.
And she helped tie all the sloth characters together. I don't know if the audience can tell that those are sloths in the hot tub with him now. But she looks enough like Sid so that it kind of connects them all together.
Oh, in the eyes. Oh, in the eyes.
Initially, Sylvia and Sid were supposed to have an arc in the story where they get together at the end. There was going to be a tag sequence where we saw the migration animals at the beach, and Sid and Manny get there, and Sylvia's looking for Sid again, and at first you think that he doesn't want to see her, but then you see that they have little Sid. We even modeled a little Sid baby.
We had baby Sid modeled.
Sequel.
I actually thought you were going to eat